It's servo time. Oh, servo time. Time for servo. Servo mount. Coming right up. This is a metal piece. Right there. Feels like it might be anodized aluminum. Although, yeah, it kind of feels like it's anodized aluminum. Very shiny, very smooth piece. This is the mount, and I am going to, wait a minute, there we go. I'm going to use an underpowered servo because it's what I have available right now that's not in use in another vehicle. The good news is that being a 1.9 rig, not a 2.2, it's not going to have tremendous forces on the servo itself, so it should work out okay. I'm going to be using this Savox SC-0352, which is under 100 ounces, under 100 ounce inches at 6 volts, but it's pretty fast. I think this will work out okay. You go there. Boo! Why do we have to have some Phillips screws in there? It just seems unnecessary. Grr. Alright, there's that guy. Now I need to make up the last links of this vehicle so far. Or period, it should be. These are the ends for the steering column. Alright, there are those. The long one uses the bent end links. The short one is all just straight. Now this is a big and exciting escalation of things because these are frame rails, nice and long, and it is time to open up bag F, get out some more hardware, and start assembling the actual main chassis itself. Well, this spread took me a little while to set up because the parts were from all sorts of different parts bins, but eventually it came together and I got everything just laid out the way it's going to go together with the necessary hardware and everything. Some of these things key together. They all use very small self-tapping screws. It's all 3x6mm button heads and 3x8mm countersinks. Very small little guys. And once again, countersunk means, or not countersunk, but self-tapping means be careful. Don't over torque those screws. They do highly desire to strip themselves out, or not to strip themselves out, but rather to strip the plastic into which they are going. Here's that front axle again. Hopefully this will be the last time I bring it back into frame, because now it's going to get attached. Half shaft goes on with a little bit of thread lock and a screw pin. Good. Now I just need to mount up the links. It's a little funky to see in the instructions because the angle that they give you overlaps a few different things, but the lower links attach to the skid plate, the lower chassis underneath the transmission. They've got a couple little slots right in here, and it's just one screw per side. No nut needed because it's going directly into into plastic on the other end. All right, there are the lowers. The uppers get bolted to the chassis. You know what sucks? That is a 36 millimeter diameter motor, a 540 motor. And the screw right here that attaches the upper link, the upper wishbone Y link, the third link, actually not the screw, but the nut actually impacts the motor with the stock gearing. So if you want that to not happen, there aren't any additional holes into which to move the transmission to slide it forward or backward. What you pretty much need to do is change your gearing. So first change the spur and then the pinion in order to move that motor inboard at least a couple millimeters. It's actually pushing against the motor slightly there. It's not really bad, but I don't want that to be happening at all. So I will eventually need to change out that spur for a different unit. That really sucks though. That is unclassy and uncharacteristic. I would not expect a kit to come from this company with that sort of thing going on with it. Yep, that is a chassis. The suspension and all that good stuff. Not nearly as much range of motion as I was expecting at first, but it still needs to have a lot more weight added to it with the battery and the body and some few other details. Speaking of details, it is time to take on all of the remaining details pretty much in one final attack. Bumpers and body and wheels and tires and more.